Hello everyone. So, haven't been able to upload videos as often as I've been wanting to lately. You know, a lot of people say it's often a good idea to do so, especially when you're starting off your channel. But I haven't, so I'm planning, if I am not able to do that, to instead post a ton of videos on the weekend, so then I don't have to worry as much about posting them throughout the week if I can't. So I'll be posting quite a few videos this weekend, and they'll all be from this one walk that I'm going on in the woods amongst all the branches on the road and the trees hanging over me. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is different nutrients that people often overlook when they're trying to eat healthy. These nutrients are definitely essential, but they're not often considered so in the same way as things like vitamins and minerals are. They're still very essential, but either A, people just don't view them in the same way, or B, people never really think of them that much at all. So today I'm going to talk a little about those. So the first one is water. Of course, water is insanely essential, as you all know. We can't live much more than 2 days without water. But despite that, a lot of people don't realize just how much is ideal in a day. And honestly, the sad thing about it is that most people view it as being inconvenient to drink as much water as I should often, because obviously that means more bathroom breaks, and that's not always very convenient when you have a very busy job or what have you. But despite that, people should still be taking water more seriously than they are. Whoa. Looks like my trail's turned into a river. Alright, frozen river. Ooh. So, the thing is with water is that we need to stay hydrated. It's so important. Like, you know, people they don't think that much about water, not because they don't know it's essential. Obviously we know it's essential, but people still don't drink as much as they should be. So that's my first tip when it comes to nutrients. Second nutrient that I'm going to talk about, or rather class of nutrients, is carbohydrates. Now here on the vegan YouTube community, you're going to hear a lot of people telling you to carb up and really encouraging that, and that's a really good thing. Now, don't get me wrong, fats and proteins, the other two main sources of calories, are also extremely important, and you know, one could say that a lot of vegan YouTubers that focus more on the diet might not encourage the consumption of, you know, things like nuts and legumes as much as they should, because they're higher in fat and protein. But the thing is, those foods are so good for us. But they're still right to say that, you know, carbohydrates are so important when it comes to our health in general. You know, our brain alone, it eats up about, I think, 60% of our blood glucose and 20 to 30% of our body's total energy. So that's really significant when you think about it. And of course, carbohydrates nowadays are really demonized for any fad diet you find. And it's terrible, because their advice is the opposite of what we should actually be doing. Carbohydrates are so important for the human body, and they should most certainly be our main source of calories, without a doubt, because you know they give you the energy you need to get through your day better than anything else, whether that be stimulants or other energy sources. They, you know, allow you to think clearer, all that good stuff. And of course, the healthiest foods on the planet, with, of course, as I said, a few notable exceptions, they're almost all high in carbohydrates. So when you consider that, the takeaway message is that, you know, carbohydrates are very important. Don't limit them at all. Same goes for calories in general. If you're getting your calories from whole foods, do not limit your calories, okay? That's another thing that fad diets get terribly, terribly wrong, is that they encourage calorie restriction, which can completely mess up your body in so many ways. Third nutrient, or class of nutrients that I want to talk about, is antioxidants. Dr. Michael Greger, some of you might know him. I'm sure a lot of you know him, probably. Maybe not, I don't know, it depends who's watching, but he's a very well-researched doctor. He ranks the healthiness of foods by how many antioxidants they contain. Of course, there's a lot of other factors when we're talking about how healthy a food is, but that is a very, very valid way of ranking how healthy foods are. So, you know, once again, antioxidants are so important to, you know, slow down aging, help boost our immune system, just help us, you know, thrive in general. They're so important. And of course, you'll find them in any whole plant food. The more the better when it comes to antioxidants. Generally speaking, of course. I think I hit a dead end. But yeah, there's not that many specific things to say about antioxidants. I mean, they just do so much for our body in general that they're so important. So I'm talking like I said, any whole plant food, but especially the more colorful ones tend to be much higher in antioxidants, like berries or fruits and veggies. All tend to be really high in antioxidants. If you want some of the best sources on the planet for antioxidants, the number one best source, if we're talking, you know, ones that aren't contaminated with heavy metals and ones that have sufficient research done on them, the best source is a berry called the Indian gooseberry. And it's also known as amla. You'll often find it in health food stores and things along those lines in a powdered form. The second best source on that list is cloves. So that's a much more well-known plant for sure. The thing with cloves, however, is that they have such a strong taste of their own that a lot of people, you know, can't find many healthy recipes to put them in that they'll enjoy. That's another advantage of amla, is that it has more antioxidants, but it also, the only strong flavor it has is sourness. But that can be easily counteracted with something really sweet. So this Christmas I actually got a bag of amla, and it was a nice transition from cloves because I put a lot of sweet things in my smoothies anyway, like bananas and dates, and I didn't even notice that there was amla in it, so it was pretty good. But I ran out of that now, so I've gone back to cloves for my super smoothies, I call them, because I try to get as much of a variety of nutrients in those smoothies when I make them, which I'll probably post a video about later. So yeah, with the cloves, I personally can tolerate them, but I'm sure not many people would like like the idea of them being in a smoothie, because like I said, even if you try to overpower it with something sweet, it's not gonna work. I can almost guarantee you it's not gonna work. I've tried putting so many dates and bananas compared to just 1 teaspoon of cloves, and the flavor of the cloves still almost completely overpowers the sweetness because of its strong flavor. But still, I don't mind it. I love my antioxidants, so it's worth it for me, and I still don't mind the smoothies that much at all. You can still combine it with certain things and it'll taste pretty good, but when I've let people like my mom try it, hasn't liked it that much, which is, you know, it's understandable. I would expect that from the average person. So the last nutrient, the 4th nutrient that I want to talk about is nitrates in plants. Not any nitrate. Now here's the thing, with all these nutrients I'm mentioning, I'm talking about getting them from whole foods. That is crucial, that is extremely important. Because if you take them out of their whole food, you're taking away a whole bunch of other compounds that these nutrients work synergistically with. And if you do that, you're not going to get the benefits that you usually get. So, the importance of nitrates is that when you eat them, they produce something called nitric oxide in your blood. And this helps, this has a lot of benefits. It can lower your blood pressure and do a whole lot of other great things. And one really neat thing is that it improves your performance with cardio. And if I remember correctly, it actually helps your body use oxygen more efficiently. So basically, you can work better with the same amount of oxygen if you eat nitrates. So that's pretty cool. Of course, like I said, nitrates from whole foods, but not refined nitrates. Those aren't good for us. Just like practically any pure ingredient, except for a few like water. So that's pretty much it for this episode. Make sure to get in your water, carbohydrates, antioxidants, and nitrates. I'll be doing a different series on more specific essential nutrients later on. I just figured it would be good to do one on these specifically because people often overlook them or don't consume as much of them as they should. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video, where I will still be walking in the woods.